for somebody. And a lady came over and said, I see someone stopped off at Garrett's in Chicago. So I just moved my bag. And she stopped talking to me. But she had a buddy. Angie. How old was Mom, Angie? Okay. Her mother just passed away. And no, and that's why she's been drinking. Couldn't remember the 4 or the 2 or something, but we're celebrating because we've known each other way into the late 60s and stuff like that, and she's still being quiet. And she's still built the same way. And so is Jackie. And Jackie is the one, You're doing better. Oh, you're built better. Yes. And only you would know that. Now be quiet, Jackie, or else I swear to God, the security will come and get you. No, because it's like having a younger sister. You have to throw them out when they start misbehaving. And it's fun when they're your sister because you're not trying to get any. See, a lot of guys put up with women, because they're trying. And women know that. They start misbehaving and they put the hat on and they're sitting there and the guy's just going somewhere around 1 o'clock. I hope this too shall pass. Which reminds me of a fellow by the name of Red Fox. On a given night, the epiphany came when Red had a club in Los Angeles, which he named after himself. And Red was not a businessman. And he went into debt with the club and then called me. And I, like a fool, thought, yes, I will go in and rescue his club. And I poured about $400,000 into the club, and I kept seeing we were not making any money. And then finally, I found out, after I had my bookkeeper go in and look at the books, that on a given night, took the money, put it in the bank, that Red's wife, the next morning, went in and took all that money out. So, I forgot where I was going with that. It happens quite a few people say, well, you're having a senior moment. And this stuff lingers. I often wondered about old people when I was young. I didn't feel sorry for them, but I just wondered, well, if you know you're not going to remember something, I just said it to myself, because you didn't say that out loud in the 50s to old people, because they could still slap. And if they could find a group of them, they would just slap you from here over there. But first you had to hear the lecture. Anyway, I often, there's 2 things that I catch myself doing that I used to see old people do. And one is point to a direction and the person is indoors. So they say something like, we we were in, well, anyway, that's where we were. And then it gets to the wife. Now, wives, after a number of years of marriage, don't play with you. You are not going to embarrass them. If you can't remember something, that is your problem. Don't drag her into it. And then he said, well, neither one of them knew what they were talking about. So the husband, he says, we were with, who were the people? And she starts talking like she doesn't even know you. I have no idea what you are talking about. Don't even ask me anything. Leave me alone. I didn't bring this up. You're the person I've told you many times, keep your mouth shut. And I don't know why you don't listen. Then women start piling on. Listen, you know you're not alone with this. And then they don't even call the husband by name. You know this one. I didn't get your name. I said, this one. My name was this one. So, we were in Toronto. We were in Toronto. Now, I don't know if you take a compass, I could be pointing towards Indiana. And people do that. So now you're going to talk about something and you've forgotten what you're going to say. So you said, then all your fingers and things start. What is the name? And then you look down for the answers. See, days of the week and months are here. And we went, the place opened at 9:30. That's when it was. But this thing of senior moments and the D word, dementia, I think are wrongly applied to us. Because it's not just us. Those of you who have children, who are no longer children, I want you to think, how many times have you called them and you've had to call them and say, where are you? They say, well, I'm home. So, well, didn't I ask you to call me when you got home? Oh, yeah. And what is today? Tuesday. You left here Saturday. Then they will admit, so, well, I forgot. And that's dementia. 25, 26, 30 years old, can't remember to call you back. And then little 5-year-old people are in dementia. Upstairs, look under the bed, bring down my slippers, and they go. And you see them 8, 9 hours later. Of course, a part of it is your fault. You're so damn lazy. playing and then you get angry. Come here. What did I ask you for? I don't know. Now look, I'm going to give you another chance. And you can hear spirits in the room going, oh, leave the kid alone. So this particular piece, there's a couple, I understand that Ginsberg, where are you? I won't ask you to clap because arthritis and stuff. Are you there? Just say you're there. All right. And how many people came with you? Just the two of you. Now, I guess one of your offsprings said you're here too. You're married 54 years. Yes? Well, look, people have said to me, well, how did you stay married? I said, well, just keep coming home. You'll know, because the hefty bags will be on the sidewalk. I remember when Bob Culp would when they would divorce, Bob was married 4 times, I think. And each time, because I lived through 3 of them, and every time he would come back to his dressing room, and that box, there was a box, and they all sent him the same thing. He had a black cowboy hat that Gary Cooper gave him. Do you have anything that would be less spiritual? So, that reminds me, when in Italy, you know where the Leaning Tower, you've all seen the Leaning Tower of Father John, and we were shot in Italy, and I remember walking around because that was what Sheldon wanted, some part of I Spy, and it was amazing that human beings get off the bus from different countries and they would say in all different kinds of language, it really leans. Like Niagara Falls or something. That's real water. One of the great sights that I never understood was Hoover Dam. Didn't do anything. Am I right or wrong? You go there and there it is, Hoover Dam. Do something. And it's called, and if I don't, you're gonna, uh-oh. Somebody's nodding. Told him not to give those people glass bottles. So, dedicated for the two of you, I have 2 stories for the Ginsberg. People married 54 years. This is not mine. This one is not mine. It's just for all of you. If you're not if your faith is not that of Christ and God, so I'm not trying to influence you. This is the story. This is from the Christianity side of it. So the spirit in charge of letting people in, or souls in, is at the desk, and up comes a female soul. Comes to the desk, and the spirit says, you are more than qualified because of your behavior on earth. You're a genius of everything. I mean, you're just phenomenal, and you've written over 800 books, all printed in different languages. And then a male soul came up and walked in, and oh, okay, I just want you to know that this soul is also a genius. This is printed over 400 books, and just amazing. And then a couple came up, and the spirit said, okay, now just shut down. I don't want any more souls coming up here. Put them on. And you two are married 63 years and you died together. Now, and you're all qualified to get in, but it's crowded. And God has decided this is what will get you in. You take a pencil and paper, and you only need one pencil and one paper, and you write a question for God that you hope God cannot answer. So they did. Okay, thank you. And if God cannot answer this, then you get in. But if you don't, then you can see all those souls over there, trying. And the spirit went in, came back, and said, is this answer correct? To the genius female soul. And he said, oh, yes. And God has given me a question, if I can answer that. Oh, wow. So to the male soul, what about you, genius? He said, yes, that's the correct answer, and I too have a question. And I said, you two come in. So they went in, and these two stayed. He came back to the spirit, and he said, well, what's it? He said, well, those two, they went in? He said, yeah. And they asked God a question God couldn't answer. He said, that's correct. So, well, were they geniuses together? They worked together in science and math or something? He said, no, I was just married 63 years. So they said, so what, this is affirmative action for old people? He said, no, they asked God a question and God couldn't answer. She said, really? She said, well, what was the question? Can you tell us? He said, yeah, they wanted to know when their children were going to get their act together. I'm 75 years old. My mother is almost 100, dead. But if she was alive, she would still be saying, when are you going? So, this is also dedicated to you and to all of the people who are married and married a long time, short time. And it's about woman, wife. And it is that the male husband, he takes a long time to finally be comfortable about what is given to him. And what I mean by given is that it is given to him with a wife, because he has things, but it's her house. Now don't get carried away, because even 50, 40 years, you can still have the hefty bags. And you know how quiet they are. They don't say anything right now. They're like this. And they let you go on and yell and cheer and do that. And then that night, and the good ones wait at least 4 nights. And then as you are, they wake you up and ask you what you meant. And you know, I mean, they're worse than the police, man. So anyway, somebody made a mistake. I had a physical, and they sent my results in on the fax machine, and my wife went to it and pulled it off and read my high numbers. Now, those of you who are married long enough, you know how detrimental that is. Because it opens the flank for one more thing that you're not doing correctly. And there's a statement that I hate. We want you around a long time. You know, like I'm an azalea bush. So she said, as a wife, Will, says, Belle. And I remember, of all the things of Amos and Andy, which were so derogatory and just not good, there was the thing that my father laughed at and I didn't understand. And that was when Sapphire, you would hear her call Kingfish, whose real name was George. And she would say, George! And George was talking to Andy, and he'd say, uh-oh, there's the call to glory. And you have to be married to understand that. And my father would just laugh, and he would slap his leg like that. And I didn't know what he was laughing at. I didn't know why it was funny until I think it was, and Amos and Andy were off the air when I was married, 20-some years. And she would call me. And that scene would always show up. Up here, my father laughing. Uh-oh, there's the call to glory. But there's also another joke for the newly married. And this was on the internet also. It's about a newly, and this is, I call the dumbest husband in the world. And so he comes in and from work, and he sits down and says, hey, Shuggy, honey, bring me a beer, will you, before it starts. And so she brought the beer, and he took it, and he drank, sip, and then he goes, and then crushed the can. Say, Peach's face, my little rose cheeks, bring me another beer So the mayor comes in, and they sit down and drink a burp and drink whatever, burp, warp, press the can, throw it down. Said, say my little plum pudding, bring me another beer before it starts, will you? And she came in, she said, look, you come in this house after work, you don't say anything to anybody, he said, whoop, it's starting. So she has the paper. She says, you know, see, they are wives, they become mothers, whatever, you don't have to, any order. But the combination. So now, they're like lawyers who have prepared in case they ask you a question, they know the answer. But they sound like they don't know. So she said, she had the paper. She said, did you have blood and urine work done? So, you know, you can't, I'm not enough of an animal to be able to pick up, you know, like deer. Deer can smell trouble, you know. And then the cheetah eats them, you know. But I can smell it only after I was eaten. So she said, can somebody bring a table out here that doesn't do this? I'll help. And pay no attention to me. I'm with my friends, but just bring the table here that doesn't do like this or that. It almost walks.